Yo guys, I'm Nick from the Produce School and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video I will be teaching you how to make music like Meduza. So in the past year this producer trio became one of the most popular groups in EDM. We decided to create a sample pack which is also partly inspired by Meduza. It has some of his signature sounds in it. If you want to check that out, go to the link in the description. For now, let's head straight into the project. So we start off with a synth for in the break, and it's actually already like his signature sound, and it sounds like this. So we made the sound in Serum. Oscillator A, we have the saw rounded to square wavetable, and then we have the envelope 1 linked to the wavetable position. We gave the oscillator A 8 voices of unison and we put back the detune a little bit. For the rest, there's nothing special going on right there. Oscillator B is a simple saw wave, basically just a default wavetable with 12 voices of unison. Then they are both going through a filter. They are both turned on right here, A and B. And then a MG low 12 filter with envelope 1 linked to the cutoff. Let's head on to the FX part. So the synth has a bit of hyper, a bit of chorus. In the makers over here you could like increase or decrease it a little bit. It's just personal preference. Then we have the delay, which gives it like the delayed vibe, which really makes the sound. When I turn it off, it sounds like this. Huge difference. Also some reverb and an EQ, which is basically just for this makers. That sound is super easy, but it is really sick to use in your breaks or maybe even in the drop. So I first made a bass line, and the bass line solo, it sounds like this. And then these top notes are basically 7th notes. So when you count from the root note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you come to the note we chose. So we did that for every bass note, and then it sounds like this. Actually, because we did a lot of processing inside Serum, we only did a low cut till around 50 Hz. So we got rid of some of the sub frequencies. And this one is for a filter later on. On top of that, Meduza almost always uses some cool vocals, and we went with these vocals from our new pack called Cosmic.
I wanna know why you are dancing on your own.
So without processing, this vocal sounds like this.
I wanna know why you are dancing.
And then with processing, it sounds like this.
I wanna know why you are dancing on.
So we start off with a distortion inside Camel Crusher. We went for the British clean patch and we turned off the compressor. Then there is an EQ to boost some of the treble and like cut out some of the high mids and the present frequencies. Also we did a low cut because we don't want this to interfere with our bass frequencies. Then there's a peak controller, and we also need the delay to explain this. So we set this delay 3 on the vocal, and then we linked the mix level to the controller, to the peak controller. We reverted the input, so you select inverted, and in that way the delay will only play when the sound is not playing. So this trick will really keep your vocal clear. Then there's some reverb, 2 seconds of decay and 68% of wet. And that was basically it for the processing. Together with that synth, it sounds like this.
I wanna know why you are dancing on your own.
Then we need some simple drums and FX in the break.
I wanna know why.
So basically this is only a clap and a down filter, and then in the build up part we have some drum loops coming in as well and some uplifters. Then for the ambience effects we went with some samples from Cosmic. So we made the ambience effect stereo and we added some reverb on it, and we decreased the dry level so it is pushed to the background a little bit more. Altogether that sounds like this in the break.
I wanna know why you are dancing on your own. I wanna know.
So in the drop we wanted a more minimalistic vocal, so it's just like one vocal shout repeating itself in a bit of different tones, and it sounds like this. On this vocal there is a bit more distortion through this Camel Crusher preset, but for the rest it's basically the same. We added some sidechain on it so it doesn't interfere with the bass. We recorded this vocal ourselves. I won't go too deep into that in this video right now, but we will do a video on how to make your own Meduza style vocals soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Then we copied the bass notes of the break and copied it into a drop bass, which is bass born from Cosmic, which sounds like this. Really cool, and it also has that Meduza vibe to it. So this sound is made with 2 oscillators in Serum as well. The saw rounded wavetable, pitch down 1 octave with 16 voices of unison. Envelope 2 is routed to the wavetable position, and that's basically it for oscillator A already. And then for oscillator B we have the saw rounded to square with the wavetable position to 1. Also with 16 voices of unison, and they are both going through a filter, and then both oscillators are going to a MG Low 12 filter. For the FX inside Serum there is nothing too crazy. There's some hyper and dimension, a phaser and some reverb, and now the sound is like this. For the processing we cut out some of the sub frequencies as we will have a separate sub. We added a British clean preset and a reverb which is very minimal, just 30% of the wet level. And of course there's a kickstart as it's playing on top of a kick. So there's also a sub bass which is also from the pack, and it sounds like this. The sub bass is a sine wave with a lot of distortion, as you could probably tell, and then there's a MG Low 6 filter which makes sure the high frequencies that come up with the distortion don't go through. For the processing afterwards there's a low pass which is cutting to around like 150 to 100 Hz, and a Camel Crusher and a kickstart, so basically very minimal mixing. So together with the vocal that sounds like this. So as you can hear, that P controller really introduced a nice delay inside the empty part right here, so your vocal still adds up to the final mix basically. Next up there is a low percussion which drives the groove of the track, which sounds like this. There's some delay on it as well, and it's basically playing on the root note of this track. So the track is in E and this one is playing in E constantly, so it doesn't change together with the bass or the chords. This sound is super easy. It's basically a sine wave which is shaped in a plucky envelope, some hyper, some dimension, a bit of downsampling, then we have a delay, a reverb, and envelope 2 is linked to the MG Low 18 filter, together with the bass that sounds like this. Next up we have the drums. So Meduza's drops are basically very dry, they hit very hard but they are very minimalistic. So in the beginning there's basically only a kick playing, a bit of percussions underneath. Then we get this clap layer with a bit of reverb on it, and those rims to add some extra groove. Same goes for this drum loop. In the second part of the drop there are some heads and some rides coming in as well. The synth I talked about in the beginning is also introduced again in the second part of the break. The only thing we did different is that we added some kickstart on it right now. So for the FX it's basically pretty similar to the break, some ambience, some uplifters and a crash as well. Then the drop outro is basically the same as the drop itself, but it contains not the drop vocal but the regular vocal. So this is what the project sounds like.
I wanna know why you are dancing on your own. I wanna know why you are dancing on your own. I wanna know why you are dancing on your own. I wanna know why you are dancing on your own.
So that's how you make music like Meduza. If you guys want more detailed videos about specific parts I mentioned in this video, leave a comment below and we will look into it. We will definitely do a Meduza vocal tutorial, so that will be coming soon. We're also planning on doing a slap house tutorial with only stock plugins, as many of you were asking for that, and we believe that it's very valuable for many producers out there who are like mainly working with stock plugins. Don't forget to check out our new pack called Cosmic, which has a lot of sounds like this in it. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys next time.
I wanna know why you were dancing on your own.